This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, saving your day from boredom with the best podcasting entertainment.
Welcome, everyone. This is episode 3 of Too Old to Game. I'm your fearless host, Dave Oster, full of fear. I'm joined by Mark Weber.
Dub them ease.
And the original man-child.
I didn't know we had Brandon Swanson with us. I'm fearless host Brandon Swanson.
I'm fearless, but I'm filled with fear. That's the thing. I am terrified of this side of the table. 3 weeks in, still uncomfortable over here. But Ricky Widmer on the other side as well.
I am back. What's up? What's up? Back from the dead because I had a cold that kind of almost took me. Almost took my life, guys. It did not really take my life.
Kind of like the Oregon Trail?
Kind of like the
dysentery, didn't you?
I did. I had the dysentery, man. I had not just dysentery, the dysentery.
You had to drink better water.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, man, I'm trying.
You are trying. I'm proud of you.
Well, if you're here watching at this point, we're going to be covering a little bit of Rocket League 2 Unlikely because it sounds like they're going the DLC route. Then maybe we'll talk a little bit about LAN parties, some good memories. You know, are they dead forever? Could they come back? And anything else we can think of at that point, really. So the show is kind of up in the air this week. But the big news of the week, obviously, is Rocket League 2 Unlikely, because it's kind of weird, because everyone's like, well, is there going to be a sequel? Everybody's thinking money-wise, why not make a second game? Instead, they're going the other route and saying, we're going to keep building our original game. Mark, what do you think? Good strategy, bad strategy?
Well, the first thing I think of is... okay, so this is essentially... It's an esport game, but it's kind of like mimicking a sports game. So, the difference that Rocket League is going to have compared to Madden, 2K, the show, whatever, is there's no roster update to do. There's nothing to really change and fix and all that stuff. So what are you going to do? Just kind of tweak the cars? I mean, you have to start adding in extra features and stuff like that, which my thought is, well, then that's going to feel either gimmicky, it's going to ruin it, the experience, because something that's nice about Rocket League, and I did enjoy it quite a bit. I haven't played it in a long time, but it was fun when I was playing it. It was simple. It really was simple. And to go a more DLC route makes sense in terms of what everybody's doing. Everybody's going this way where it's just, hey, I just had to hook you once, and now I can sell you these things that are cheaper. Marketing-wise, that's just easier to do. It's kind of easy to give up $20 when I already gave up 60. Or if you were one of those people that got it for free, that's even better. I didn't pay anything, so okay, $20, that's great. It makes sense, but I just, in my mind, and I haven't played Fortnite in a while, because we were talking about that before.
Yeah, heavily.
With all that new stuff coming out. But I haven't played Rocket League in a while, so I don't know what changes have happened since kind of initially was out there. But I don't know if these DLCs are really going to... Are they really going to add that much to make it really?
I mean, we don't know if it's going to be a paid for DLC because he's very much about keeping the game pure, and like you said earlier, it was a simple game, and that's what drew people to it. It's not very complicated, but you can get super intricate, like the skill graph goes.
There's people that are really fucking good at that game.
Yeah, it's embarrassing how bad. Like when I first was, I started rolling around I'm getting the hang of this feat, and I've got people going around flipping halfway up a wall, bouncing the ball. I'm I just feel like I'm slow here. I can't do this.
And the thing that Rocket League kind of has that I almost think about it because you are almost opening an entire different bag of worms that I would really like to open up, but not right at this moment when you brought up Madden and stuff.
We'll get there.
Because people have had that discussion too of why am I paying $60? You do it. Because
you keep
want
paying.
The new
That's
game,
why they keep making it.
But it's when will we get to, if we'll ever get to a spot of with Madden, for example, it's not just a $60 game every year. It is, all right, here's the updated rosters, and then maybe every 3 years, every other year, you come out with a new game because obviously you have to update the graphics and stuff or put in new modes. But really, there's no big update that you look at every year and go, man, this is kind of the same game. It just looks a little nicer than it did last year. But Rocket League's kind of like the Overwatch, where I am looking at most of the DLCs, and it's usually, all right, you get these 2 vehicles, these paint jobs, these wheels, these boosts. Nothing really of hey, I need this DLC
because now
to
there's
give me
4 different teams playing each other.
Or it needs to give me a competitive balance. Like in Overwatch, It's not, I need these loot boxes to give me a competitive advantage. It's, I need these loot boxes because I want that killer fucking skin and I want to look baller while I'm playing Overwatch.
Yeah, I
want this Valkyrie skin and looking like a Viking when I'm healing people.
Yeah, it's hard on the outside to explain it to other people. They're like, no, I spent $20 so my character would look cooler. Like, so you want to play dress up with your character, and that's why
they're not dolls, Dave. They're action figures. That's the old debate. They're not dolls. They're action figures.
It's one of those things where those are completely fine, and you're almost moving into a category of talking about loot boxes and stuff like that, and pay to win and stuff like that. When you're talking about the skins versus the, hey, I got this really awesome rifle that's better than everybody else's. For something like Rocket League, I do part of me looks at it, and I don't want to be cynical, but I am a little bit, is this what's being said because it just doesn't make sense to move forward with a Rocket League 2 because they're trying to, and Rocket League has done a fine job of it, but they're trying to get it more in terms of an e-gaming, Major League Gaming, whatever you want to say, at the university level. If you just have this, look at League of Legends. You don't need to really go and make yet another League of Legends because then everybody has to adapt to that.
They tried to make other maps and that turned out hilariously bad.
Yeah, you look. We talked about before the podcast that Rainbow Six Siege is still popular. You have these games that just people will cling to it. There's not very much. There's not very many of those. Call of Duty, it doesn't matter. People are always going to upgrade to the next one. Yeah. Especially when you're at that, that big Major League Gaming, e-gaming, whatever you want to call it, Twitch, streaming, all that type of stuff. When you're really trying to hone in on that, a good thing to always look at is stuff like Team Fortress 2. People are still playing that game how many years later? You could just kind of cement Rocket League as that thing. The problem is then that the company is not going to make any more money off of that then. And, we can say that they're nice and they don't want to just shell out cash and stuff and just sell out like that, which is fantastic. But at the same time, people got to get paid at some point. This company needs to make more money at some point. I would almost hope that they just go and try something completely different instead of a Rocket League 2 in 2 or 3 years because, you mentioned it with stuff like Madden, but I brought up Call of Duty, and that's just kind of a thing that we see with games where they just get put out so often that eventually you do get kind of burnt out on a lot of them. And I can't imagine that Rocket League 2 would be very different from Rocket League 1, that it would be warranting a purchase, or that if it does, that people are not going to have the negative backlash of it's the exact same thing.
Right, and that's the thing. Like, by doing that, I could only see them splitting their user base. Rocket League is super accessible for everyone right now. And like you said, what they're doing is basically the game is the base level game everybody can get. And then all the accessories, all the customization stuff, if you want it, you can pay for those visual updates, basically. Not visual updates, but visual tweaks to your current cars. I think that where it's going, if you want to like build out this game even more, there's no need for a second game entirely. Like you can split within the game.
Player mode with your car. Got drafted by this car team, and here we go.
And
Cars the movie.
It just becomes Cars. This is Cars 3 now.
I'm looking at each kind of big DLC that they've had, and each one kind of has a similar thing, where each one have had 2 new battle cars that are new. Then you have unique decals that you get. Usually each one have had 6. And then the rest is varying of you get paint, you get wheels, you get rocket boots, you get troopers, you get antennas. It's just how many of each are we going to give you?
And somebody in the comment section, I'm sure, is either typing it or has already typed it and pressed send, that like, no, these are things that do make a difference. And I'm sure that they do, make it worthwhile in some senses. I'm just saying that when there's a DLC, maybe it's part of me being a single player type of person, where if I get a DLC, I'm expecting a nice story addition to what I have. Yeah. Where obviously there's no story here, so what I want would be like if the show didn't have Road to the Show, and then they DLC'd Road to the Show in it, which is your My Player mode.
Okay, so I got mixed feelings on that.
I just gave EA Sports some ideas. I know that's not the show,
They're
but
literally
that's
Hitler,
Madden next year.
and you're talking about them pulling out part of the main game and adding as a DLC that you have to pay for, which sounds like something they do.
Yeah,
but
right?
at the same time, like, is that where we're going? Where people like we've seen games, notably from EA, but from other game companies as well, release where it's not a full game in our feelings. That it doesn't have like an entire game, and you're having to pay chunk after chunk.
Like
I know
Destiny.
Destiny was the one that was the big one early on that was most popular, not a full game. Meanwhile, you have the opposite, like Overwatch, Rocket League. In my mind, I go as far back as like Counter-Strike and Team 4 You have games where the gameplay, what you have is a game that's different every time because it's played against other players. You will never play the same game of that. You'll never play the same game of League of Legends twice in your life. But what makes that special makes the replayability up. So all you have to do is add skins, add these different small tweaks around it. Maybe some balance changes, maybe some like holiday events, stuff like that to keep it fresh. But at the same time, people want to play the game for the game itself.
Yeah.
While on the other hand, Destiny 2 was like, the expectations were this is going to be an MMO, or not an MMO, but like an RPG with a long-term multiplayer kind of thing. And we're going to get down and dirty and storyline for days. And instead it was like, well, I spent 16 hours and there's nothing left to do in this game after release. Where's my game?
Where's my
game,
end game?
people?
Where's my end game, basically?
So I think the game itself lends to being one of those games, like you said, it's a static game where all you have to do is a little bit of upkeep here and there, and you don't have to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah. I mean, look at.
I get what you're doing there.
Yeah,
Cars, wheels.
because you mentioned, you mentioned these different things where it didn't feel like a complete game, and that's a big complaint that a lot of people have. But you look at some companies, maybe like, we have EA that's doing it a lot, where they'll put this out there, and then the next year they come out with just another game as well. People complain with Assassin's Creed all the time of like, okay, I got another Assassin's Creed this year. Oh,
we turn the clock back 50 years and you got a new game.
Yeah, they just keep coming out. And then you have the complete opposite flip side of people freaked out with Fallout 4 because there was not a game in forever. Same thing with Grand Theft Auto 5. I don't know if it was 7 or 8 years, whatever, since between 4 and 5. But it felt like a long time. You look at Atlas, who made different games, sure, but they come out with a 100-plus hour Persona game where the previous Persona game was 2 generations ago. That's a big deal if we're not going to talk about Dancing All Night. That's a big deal to have that big stretch. But, I feel like something like a Rocket League has to be that type of game. There are different types of games where, that's something where it has to be that way. There has to be a long period of time between it because really what else are you going to do?
Yeah.
And that's really what the big issue is because you don't want to turn your fans against you. And the perfect way to get your fans on your side is to do exactly that, to be like, hey, I'm not going to come out with a number 2 just because I want money.
And also the only way I would justify a number 2 in a game like Rocket League, like I'm going to use Overwatch for an example. The only way I could see an Overwatch 2 coming out is if they're like, all right, you guys have told us that, you know what, we give you the comics, we give you the little YouTube comic series about the lore. It's a game that has no story mode, but yet you know about the lore, you learn about the different characters in different ways. If they came out and said, we're going to give you a single player.
But that's going to be more companion game than
exactly.
number 2.
Like, I'm not saying that's what they're going to do, but if it's something like that where we are giving you a complete different build on top of what we have, to where the only way we could do this is we couldn't add it to a DLC to be downloaded. We have to come up with a whole new game to put it on a new disc and have this whole new game be what it is. Yeah. That's the only way I could justify it. And with a game like Rocket League, you're not going to do that.
Yeah, you're essentially doing Minecraft story mode. Yeah. The Telltale game. And I mean, you could do something. I mean, Rocket League, for that particular game, sure, it wouldn't really make sense. But you could figure something out. I don't know, Madden had a story mode. Why not?
Well, I mean, and that's the debate with the sports games. Where every single year, someone who's a non-sports game person will tell me, well, why did you buy that? Or like my dad, who doesn't game at all.
New names on the back of the jerseys.
Why would you buy this? What's different than last year? And most years, it's like, It kind of looks a little better. Like, that's really all it is.
They once again told me that the physics engine was better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Once again. Maybe
Once
this
again.
time my players
What
will
if they're
trip
bringing back
over each
quarterback
other.
view?
The cone.
The cone.
Oh my
hate it.
God,
The
the
Rex
cone.
Grossman tiny cone, the Brett Favre and Peyton
entire
Manning of the
Field
entire
wide.
field.
You could just throw anywhere you want. Like that was, and those are like tweaks and features that they can try to add. But again, between all the sports games and Call of Duty, and it just feels like these kind of games where it's just like every year we just slap out a new coat of paint and roll it out.
But the hard thing is too with that, and I don't want to sympathize with EA on this one because I don't think they completely deserve it. But to understand where they're coming from, you mentioned, I think where you're going with it is like, what if they just do the 3 years they come out with a new one where like maybe because there's people I've seen that have said this where they're like, if you charge me $120 right now, and you would just give me the updates for free or for a reduced price, whatever, but probably people would want free. And then in 3 years, I have to pay another $120. You're saving $60 out of that in the third year. Like, I would do that. But most people aren't going to do that. A lot of the people that play games are people who, you have younger people in high school, college, whatever it might be. They don't have a ton of money to throw out there. They're not going to throw out $120. So $60 is kind of that sweet spot right now where people are willing to spend that money. And then next year, well, they have another $60 this year. If every year they have a $60 in the August month that this comes out, they don't have $120 to do it. That's why it doesn't make sense.
It makes
to
you
do
think
it.
once you hit 3 digits, it really does make you think more about the money you're spending.
Well, I mean, there's even people now that $60 is kind of getting a lot.
I mean,
games.
for sure, but most people are willing to spend it. But the problem is, too, that $60 is the accepted price for a video.
It's the entry level, and then you got to think to like the funny thing
there
with
are
like
some
Call of
games
Duty
where it's like 40 and then
Well,
some
sure.
are 20.
There's not too
Very
many.
few.
But like if the accepted
On
price is
consoles.
60, anything over that, people are going, whoa, hold on. I pay $60 for a video game. I don't want to pay $65 for a video game. It doesn't matter. It can be a small amount, but psychologically, you're just saying that I know that this is the accepted
We agreed
price.
upon this.
I'm not. It's like a contract. I'm not willing to pay extra.
Yeah.
I'll pay less. You can give me it for
cut me a
$40,
discount. But that's the thing with console gaming. There is a standard to it. PC is a little different, where like the 4-star titles and all the big, 60 is probably about right.
You just wait for your Steam
anywhere
sale.
anywhere between. You got between summer Steam sale, winter Steam sale, all the Steam sales. I think the fact that with the games that do the paid for DLCs. It's like Call of Duty every year. There's it's 2 DLCs to every game or 3. I always forget if it's 2 or 3.
It's like 2 or 3, and then they
But the
try to
stupid
get
thing
you
is-
also with if you get the season pass, you just get all of them.
Right, but the annoying thing is by the time the first DLC comes out, I'm already sick of the game. Like I don't know if I've got a short attention span or what, but I played the hell out of World at War. No,
World
War.
at War.
World at War was like
the
the
old
first
one.
one.
That's
No.
the only one
You're
you
talking
needed
about
to,
like
at
World
that
War
point, you
II
could've
or
stopped.
something. Yeah. The last one.
The last game that came out, and like we played that really hardcore for like a month straight. And by the end of that month, I was like, I don't care about this game even a little. So I can't imagine like what their sales look like. That they're saying. They're holding out the string there with like $20. Like, come on, you want the last DLC, right? And like,
But that's kind of how they string you along for it. That's like you
get 2 new maps.
Yeah,
2 new maps.
$20. Yeah, okay, fine, I can do it.
Yeah.
I
It's
just
just
for
so
a little
dirty.
bit more, and they get you back in.
But it's a psychological thing. Like Ricky, you said the one game, and if we could just get updated rosters. I can't talk anymore. Like,
But that's why I'm excited it's going to PC because there's no reason why we can't do that, right?
Yeah.
Just
I mean,
with mods.
technically, you can do. Yeah, I'd say that's the wonderful thing about mods is you can do whatever the hell you want to with a game, within reason to some extent. But like the whole point is, how come you feel encouraged to buy every year just for the new name on the back? Is it just like I want to play as this? Is it more of a living through kind of a thing than the rookies, the new class coming in?
Well, I mean, for me, it's almost like that's the system that it is, and we're not gonna deviate from that system because also it's.
I'm saying from like the buyer side, because from the seller side, if you're going to keep buying a new thing every year, why wouldn't I put out that product? There's no reason to not do this.
Well, I'm from like me buying
that's
it.
why I
It's
wanna
a whole thing of if you want to play online, most of that, like, there's going to be a couple that say, I can't buy it and stay with the old one.
Yeah.
But most of that base from Madden 18 is going to move to 19. So if you want to play Ultimate Team, if you want to play online, if you want to do any of that, that community shrinks and they move over to the next one. The thing is, from the other side, the reason, like, we hear this a lot with other games, and it's true for sports games as well, people will say, well, why don't we have someone step in? Someone go, well, we're going to make a sports game. Because it costs a lot to make a game. And, competition is better, but if I'm
also, there's a contract involved.
But if I'm also another company trying to get in on that, and I try to, let's say they do work out a deal with the NFL, and they have now 2 games, I'm not guaranteed to make my money because who's going to say I'm going to steal the amount of players from the other one? Like NBA Live versus 2K, where NBA Live was dead and gone. Now it's coming back, and some people are moving over because they're upset that 2K is just kind of stagnant, and it's almost the same
VC
thing every
points.
year. That too.
That's what pissed off the community. Like the stagnant, nobody really cares. It's the whole
But
you
now
need to
that there's
pay
a choice,
money.
but
to
now
get
that there's a
things.
choice, that plays in a little bit.
Absolutely does.
But it costs a lot to make a game, and if I'm a developer, what's going to be the point to say I'm going to jump in and make that game? Because it's all about I'm going to put this much into it. I got to make my money back. I got to hit that line.
And then now you're the guy responsible for the upkeep of the game, which means you're never off the hook. So, I mean, there's just ongoing obligations there that, it sounds like a great idea. If you could be like, if us 3 came together, like, we're going to put together a sports franchise game for every single, like, major sport and do 1 game for each, and we'll update the rosters constantly. And, we'll release little things here and there. Like, in theory, it sounds great. But upkeep-wise, it's a nightmare. So I think that's the thing is, like, I don't know if there's enough worth there for a company. And the only people I could see trying this is, like, a very small upstart group of people. Like, and the weird thing is, like Mark mentioned, with the contracts, the way they work between the, like, MLB,
the
NFL and the NBA, like, that is a, like, signed contract that they own these rights to do these game-like, to do these games with player-like representation. So, like, it's going to be a nightmare to try to put that together. Do you think anything ever could come? I know there was, like, that, like, off football. It was a football game, but it was with, like, a bunch of no-names, basically, a couple years ago.
Talking about Blitz?
Yeah, Blitz. Yeah, because they brought back Blitz.
Yeah. I don't really think that anyone's going to try and, mess with Madden. The other ones, they have competition. I mean, the other ones all have competition, but I don't know that anyone's going to really try and do it with football because it's just so established for Madden. I would love somebody else to show up, but honestly, when there were other games besides, like NFL Street, I always went with Madden. Madden was always the best one.
I mean, NFL Street and that were good, but they weren't like your main, like,
you wanted to
I'm
play
a diehard football fan. NFL Street, NBA Street was basically
just
like,
fun.
I want
NBA
my
Ballers.
NBA
Now, that
Jam.
was the best.
I kind
NBA
of want my
Jams.
NBA Jams type of game.
Yeah.
That's what the Street games were.
That was
they
dumb
were
fun.
fun.
Yeah.
I love being
They
the
don't
quarterback
replace it.
running on the wall and just throwing it off the wall, but it wasn't like I wasn't going that for my real football. When I was playing a game.
And that's part of the reason why I don't necessarily think anyone's going to really compete
So
and even try.
Are we doomed to the world of paid-for DLCs then? Or do you think, because that's where we're at now. Right now, it's very much, there are a subset of games which are, the every year releases of here's your new game, here's your new coat of paint. Then there's the other ones that are holding steady, but with paid-for DLCs to give you more content or small tweaks graphically. Like, do you feel like we're going one direction or the other moving forward?
Sports or non-sports?
You can lay down.
I
your
would
own.
say sports is going to stay the exact same way it is of like, here's a new coat of paint, here's the new hardware, here's the new CD, here's the new digital download that you need. For the other ones, I kind of think that we might be moving into more of a Rocket League Overwatch type of a thing because we've seen Call of Duty, and you're not the only one, I'm assuming, that gets really hyped up when they see that first trailer. They buy the game, and then they don't buy the DLC.
The gunshot of the M1 Garand, like that pang noise, was just a call to my childhood. Like it was just it hit home where I was like, oh, I need to play this
And
game.
like Fortnite's another one where that's another game where I can get it for free.
Yep.
Yeah, I can buy stuff, but the stuff that I'm buying is not necessarily pay to win. It's, hey, I want my pickaxe to look like this. I want a cool glider. I want this skin. That's where I think we're heading with online is Rocket League, Overwatch, Fortnite.
Yeah, there's very few companies that have the luxury to not really have to worry about money that much.
True.
So for these developers, for the publishers as well, for everybody involved, they need that. So a Fortnite type of game where you can spend money on, I want this costume, I want that costume. That stuff adds up really fast. I mean, Ricky, you used to play Clash of Clans and stuff. You know how those things can, the temptations there, it can really add up to just spend that.
To be fair, the Clash of Clans was
$1.
pay to win.
Yes.
Right? Yeah, just to
Yeah,
clarify.
but
The Clash of Clans is the classic mobile game of, hey, we're going to start you out where everything's real quick, 5 minutes, and then after we got you hooked, oh, you got to wait an hour. Or you can
5
buy
days.
these gems, and you can use the gems to get more resources, and you can make this building be ready now so that you can make the next thing already.
My point with it is that, yes, that's pay to win compared to something just being pay to look pretty. But people are still spending the money. It's still addicting either way. People spend a lot of money on that, and really those type of games are built around the idea. This isn't news. I mean, if you've seen the episode of South Park, you know exactly what I'm about to mention, where essentially they are there so that way they can just get that one person who's going to spend $500. They don't need 500 people to spend $1.
Yeah, and I think one of the good games like that represents kind of this model is Warframe. A game I'm super into, but at the same time, I don't devote time to.
Isn't it coming to the Switch?
It is coming to Switch. That was the newest announcement. They had their big gathering, which was awesome. I watched it live. They had like an hour presentation. It was super cool. The stuff they're doing is insane, and it's a free-to-play game. I'm plugging them. I know I don't get anything for them, but if they want to hook me up, Warframe's awesome.
I remember
they'll give you some skins.
I remember downloading it. I'm like, oh, Dave said we'll play. And I'm like,
it's
no,
basically
we're not
Destiny
playing
on
it.
steroids.
Yeah.
Like, it's awesome. I recommend people play it. It's super fast-paced. But the thing is, it's been a game that's been around for 4 years now. Like, it's not new. But what they did was they started out this original base of this is an idea of the game, and they kept investing dev time, and they keep doing it. And what we have right now is a really nice version of a game that's highly polished, that tons of people are playing, and it just keeps getting better over time. And what they've done is their model is that whole, if you want to buy visual accessories or skins or stuff like that, you can do that. If you want to speed up some processes, kind of Clash of Clans style, like when you're building either pieces or new items, you can speed it up through in-game currency. Like, they've got a bunch of ways that you can do it, but none of it's inherently pay to win, as in you're going to be better than the guy standing across from you. Good storytelling, great gameplay, and that's one of those games where it's like, they really, if you look back at the early game versus where it's at now, like, they have invested so much time, and I'm so happy because that's one of those player bases where they had a couple of very large investors come in, and by investors, I mean people who play the game heavily, and they spent a ton of money on it, and they gave back to the community, and basically through them paying for the game, pays for dev time, pays for better game, and like, that's an awesome cycle. Like,
and
that's one of those like super reversing.
How many games out there right now on Steam are the early access? It's alpha,
my God, yeah.
and it's gonna get finished one day. They swear, and it's totally gonna be this amazing, expansive game. And then if it does get finished, it's nothing near that. So it's nice to see one of those actually work out. I've never been a fan of. I mean, I understand why early access is out there, and it's great for access.
Yeah.
For on the developer side of being able to actually pursue that dream and try and make it happen, but man, does it lead to some really shitty stuff being put out.
Yeah, it's a combo of like early access basically was what was the site? I don't know if it was like Patreon for gaming. No, what's
Kickstarter?
Kickstarter.
Oh yeah.
Kickstarter. Like, that's a way to just get like people. You can sell anything, and like, oh my God, it sounds like it's gonna be this great game. And there was a recent Kickstarter game that actually just gave up basically, and they'd collected a ton of money from people, and there's like, and we're walking away from our game. Like, you can't, and they can just do it, and that's okay. And that's one of those things where it's like, I feel like early access, Kickstarter games like that, there needs to be some sort of line in the sand for that that holds people responsible. Because, yes, I know we're demanding dev time for something that you don't have dev time to devote to it necessarily.
Yeah.
But, like, walking away from a game where people have set up, you know, thousands of dollars to, and you're just going to be like, and you get no product.
Yeah, I mean, there's no guarantee that it's going to be what they describe or what they want. There's, you know, hundreds of thousands of people out there who spent money on a game and they end up playing the game and they're like, wait a minute, you said it was going to be like this, and it's nothing like that.
Well, that's like with the whole... We're kind of seeing the same thing. It's not like Kickstarter where it's people like average Joes giving money to a game and then them walking away, but we're kind of seeing that to a degree with the whole Monster Hunter World stuff that's going on right now too, where they were expecting, all right, there's going to be a drop-off, but it's going to be like a 6-month drop-off, and we're going to have this. And then like the other day, they're like, oh shit, our stock's dropped. Like our players are just leaving this game because, like, yeah, they're putting out new monsters and crap, but it's like, you put out a new monster, it's the same mechanics to kill or capture the monster. I haven't played Monster Hunter World and I don't remember.
Yeah, no.
How long, who knows
visually
when.
Appealing, but that game just, it was so rinse and repeat, even though, and yes, the attacks are randomized,
especially
but
after
the encounters...
After you beat the story, because for me, that was a driving thing of like, oh, like, I'm going to beat this story. I want to see what that final monster is.
Yeah.
After I did that, it's like, oh, I'm just doing these daily quests to get pieces to make better gear. And it was fun for a while. Like, I had my little, like, note sheet, and I'm writing down what I need, what monsters I need to go kill. But then after a while, I'm like, and Overwatch. And then I just... It took my attention
that's the thing.
Completely away.
It had that fun, like, dungeon grind feel to it, but at the same time, it just felt off. Like, games like Diablo 3, those are games where you can number crunch the hell out of, and you're doing these randomized dungeons over and over and over, and you're feeling a sense of progression as you go, though. I felt like Monster Hunter, you never really felt like you were getting that much better as the game went on. You didn't feel like the power creep come with you. You didn't feel like... By the end of that game, that you were just this, like,
also is
massive...
not a game that holds your hand, which I do like.
Yeah.
But there's a sense of, like, I needed our buddy Sean.
Yeah.
I needed him to kind of hold my hand at points.
Oh,
like,
early?
Hey,
yeah.
do this. Hey, this is how you do this. This is this mechanic. Because it is very much like they push you in the pool and go, all right, you're here.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, you just got to learn to swim and learn with it.
I mean, with the internet, I feel like you don't need it. Everybody just looks stuff up if they don't know. If they're like, man, how do I solve this puzzle? Oh, you know.
Yeah.
And
if there's not a YouTube video for it, like...
But the point I was getting to was with them, their drop-off of players, there's investors that have invested into that game that it's like, all right, this will change when we have to invest in the next one. Because we can see
if they're going to be willing to do so.
If there will be a next one, because it's like, you know what? We saw that it was hugely, highly popular when it first came out, and this was the shelf. The shelf life that we expected is not the shelf life that we're seeing.
Yeah, no. It was an incredibly visually appealing game on release. Tons of people have flocked to it, and I'd say, yeah, they're 3-month, like, you basically, when you release a game, you hit your peak on, like, usually... early, very early on, like day 4, day 5.
Yeah.
Like, it's the initial hype train hits, somebody goes out and makes video, millions of people watch it, everybody else wants to play it. That's when you hit your hype. Like, week 2 probably is the peak. And then from there, it's like, all right, now, are you going to keep growing? Is there going to be a second wave? Or is it going to stagger and fall down eventually? And they just hit, like, after their 2-month time, it just started going down and down and down. And, like, for a game like that, how do you recover? They tried doing different things, but you never could recapture the audience quite the same way.
I think one of the games that has done the best at what you were saying, like, here's the hype level, it shoots up to here, but having so many other things, whether it's somebody streaming the game, whether it's theories about the story, hidden things,
I know
it's FNAF. Like, it is like, I have only played the game once, and it was
I
FNAF 3.
hate that you said FNAF.
Well, I know. He just assumes everyone knows FNAF.
Five Nights at Freddy's.
Plus, say the name. I mean, FNAF.
Well, that's the acronym. It's easier to say that than Five Nights at Freddy's.
I don't know that it is.
Yeah, I mean...
I'm going to say FNAF.
It's like when you're, you're out hanging out with your friends, you go, Rafflecopter.
All right. If you want to admit to some cringy shit you say in public that should be left on the internet, like, we can go down that route.
Right?
But, yeah, no, I've seen people do that.
But the point is, I've only played, 3 nights of one game that are
Really?
on this
That's it?
channel. I only played, the first 2 or 3
got too
nights
You couldn't
scared.
beat
of FNAF 3.
FNAF.
And
You got
then
too scared to play?
I did.
He was
There's a video
scared, yeah.
on the channel of me actually
Oh my
jumping
God.
back, pushing the desk.
He was asking me if I'd be
because I
willing
got
to hold his
creeped.
hand while he played.
Oh, my God.
But I mean, I will watch Matt Pat till I'm blue in the face play
yeah,
that
between
game.
Matt, Pat, PewDiePie, all
I
those
mean,
guys.
I will watch numerous streamers play that game, and I have only played a small sample size of it.
To the 2 people who have computers in front of them, are they still working on that movie? Weren't they working
think
on a
so,
movie?
yeah.
The FNAF
They
movie?
are? The FNAF? And it's
FNAF
going to be based off of FNAF 1, FNAF 2, or FNAF 3. Might it be based on a FNAF 4 that's not out yet?
I mean, no, because now there's FNAF World, basically, right?
And
Is
there's
that
FNAF
I-
Custom Night
I don't
is
know.
the
Custom
newest
Night,
game.
yeah.
I don't know
that's
much. I don't know enough about FNAF to really.
Yeah,
have
no,
much of an opinion
there's
on
a
FNAF.
universe. There's
February
Kid
was
books.
when they hired their director.
There's a whole thing
good.
around FNAF, which is super interesting, but at the same time, like, that's how you evolve a game through, like, multiple mediums. And the funny thing, you brought up, having the streamer community, having YouTube videos about
Yeah.
it. Like, I've seen game devs now are paying streamers,
sure.
paying YouTubers to play their game and to advertise it, basically. That's the new way to market your game.
Let me ask you this. I know Fortnite, we've talked about that being more visually appealing than
PUBG? Correct.
However, if the whole ninja thing doesn't take off and he doesn't become as popular as he is, did he become popular because of Fortnite? Or did he help Fortnite become kind of as popular as it is because of his personality streaming and what he brings to the table too?
He was a moderately successful streamer before Fortnite, but I will be honest, when Fortnite started to grow, it grew and he grew with it. Like, I don't know that he would not have gotten this big on his own.
He just jumped on the train. He jumped on the wave right at the right point.
He was early on in Fortnite, and him being a good personality, you started watching it go from I think he was usually around 8 to 10, 15,000. Then it would be 20, 30, 40. And you're just watching and it's holy shit, he's huge. And and then he did the Drake night, which was insane. And having on celebrities and everybody's watching. It was just the numbers he was crunching were incredible. I think Fortnite still grows without him. I just think that
the thing about any
him
of
being the
these
face to it
games-
helps.
The thing about any of these games is it really just comes down to that luck. If you can pay. Let's say you have one of these games and you're going to pay C-Nanners to do a video because he's going to get 1 million+ views on anything. It doesn't matter.
Too old to game throwing out C-Nanners.
Right?
I love it.
But I mean, that's probably for certain people really dates on.
The younger viewers are who's C-Nanners?
What's a C-Nanner?
I think they might still know who he is. He's still popular. But maybe I don't know.
Maybe not.
But you pay somebody like that. But sometimes it honestly is just the luck of it. Of somebody does something stupid and therefore that goes viral. It's such a challenge and what a lot of these companies are doing, they're paying the established person, just saying, well, they'll get 20,000 views on it, whatever. What has worked for all these type of games is the viral factor of it. You guys remember that game where I forget the name of it, but you're in the back of the ambulance in one of them, or you're in the ER room and you're operating on somebody, and it's one of those games where you're controlling the 2 hands and you have to make them grab things.
Oh, yeah.
Was it a DS game?
No, it was on PC. I mean, it's probably been on other things too, but it was super popular for a while because of streaming and YouTube. And that's the type of thing where it's just that the right streamers and YouTuber Let's Players were just playing that game. And because of that, everybody wanted to go out and buy it. Where the flip side, you have other stuff like Goat Simulator, where it's made purely because they want people to stream it and stuff like that, so they can sell a bunch of it.
Yeah.
And for something like Goat Simulator, it worked. But for every Goat Simulator, there's a million other games where nobody cared about, and it didn't happen the way that people wanted it to. So, with your question about, does Fortnite rely on this? Maybe. maybe, but I think the enough was being put in place before that, and I would say that Fortnite is a better version, in my personal opinion, is a better version
of
PUBG.
Yeah.
It's more accessible. It's just fun, and it just had that. It had that value to it of it was free. You can just get right into it. You can pick it up, and you can get it very, very quickly.
Plus, I'll be completely honest, and this is part of me hates that we've always kind of lived in this world. But if you look at an overprotective parent that looks at PUBG compared to Fortnite, they look at PUBG and, oh my God, they're killing actual people. You look at Fortnite, it's like, oh, it's just cartoony. Like, it's not that bad.
The realism.
Because of how it looks, more of that art style compared to PUBG I look like a real person and I am shooting a real person.
And it's kind of appealing to a certain demographic that
the younger demographic
really worked out well for the popularity of Fortnite.
What's funny is, like, you think that a game like Splatoon or Splatoon 2, like, hits home with that, like, 5, basically like the 5 to 10, like the before the preteen. And instead, I mean, I've seen more like 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds on Fortnite than anything else. I'm like, everyone can go to this game and play this game. That's the crazy thing about it.
Ask any elementary teacher right now, what do all the kids in their classroom talk about? Fortnite. Nonstop. That's literally all they talk about. And it was funny, I first mentioned it to my wife, who's an elementary teacher, and she says, she's like, no, I haven't heard about that at all. What is it? And I'm like, just start paying attention, and I guarantee you they're talking about it. Like 2 days later, she's like, yeah, they don't shut up about this game. I just never noticed because I didn't know what it was.
Well, that's like, I can't remember, but I can't remember what game it was, but like when I was teaching, when this was like 2014, 2015, there was whatever the viral game that I had played, I mentioned it in a classroom, and students were like, what the hell? Mr. Widmer plays that game? Like,
adults
is that
play
even
video
allowed?
games?
It's like, yeah, that's allowed, kid. I can play whatever game I want, too.
Was it a mobile game?
And I got money to buy it.
No, it wasn't a mobile game, but I can't remember what the big viral... It was like the Fortnite of that time. And it's like, oh my God, you play it too? And I was like, yeah. Can I add you on PlayStation? No, you can't. You can't do it. Like,
you can't do
it.
Oh my God.
I don't want to play Call of... Like, I'm just going to throw Call of Duty.
It probably
I'm going to play
was
Call of Duty with you. I'm not going to play it.
It probably was Call of Duty. Oh my God. But yeah, no, I think that's one of those things where the amount of marketing just coming from people playing it is just insane. That's what takes it off.
Yeah, and it's the kind of thing that if you're any bit marketing savvy, you can look at every company and see what they're trying to do, and just see how they're trying to do it. Like, and especially with commercials and stuff, you can see the phases, everybody trying to be overly awkward type of phase, everybody trying to be super clever kind of phase. You see the things that everybody tries to do.
Yeah.
And right now, a thing with all these type of companies is everyone wants to get that something that's going to have that ability to get viral. And for most of them, it's obviously doesn't work because that's the whole idea. That it's that 1 in a million.
I want to ask you guys this because we haven't kind of talked about this on a podcast yet.
Sure.
Call of Duty, the next one, we have talked about it a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
Their next game is a battle, like they've said, it's a 100-player battle royale. It's going to be a big map.
Everything's a battle royale.
They've already made that announcement. Battlefield has already made the announcement that they're going in the battle royale style for their game. Are these, like, for me, I just looked at the Call of Duty one and was like, all right, so it's a 100-person free-for-all match on a bigger map that I can use air, sea, and kind of Jeep tank vehicles if I wanted to. Like, that's how big the maps
then there's
are.
like the spin-offs like Realm Royale where it's a little more RPG style, but still,
The thing was with like the Battlefields and the Call of Duty, because that to me is kind of like the
jumping on the
major big like players trying to jump on it.
Yeah.
How successful is it going to be?
It's like when your parents start playing Pokemon.
Exactly. When we get to November, how successful do you think the Battlefield Battle Royale and the Call of Duty Battle Royale will be compared to like a Fortnite who's just racking in more players by the day?
I don't know. I think Battlefield it's easier for because there's already like
Yeah, you can
Didn't they
already play
already
with
have-
like 64 people or something ridiculous like that.
It was a pretty big game to start with, and they handled it pretty well. You could do some pretty cool stuff in there. That one, I think, that's not a stretch. That's going to be okay. The Call of Duty one's interesting because Call of Duty for me was never like free-for-all was okay, but it was always
But
the
they were
team
usually
aspect.
small maps, too.
Yeah, for me, it's all about that teamwork, and doing a battle royale doesn't appeal. But because
I mean,
everybody,
they'll probably have squads, like
I
a
know.
squad mode.
yeah, let's have a 50-on-50 squad.
I kind of feel that, I mean, I don't know, people online like to make fun of it and stuff like that. My whole thing is, I don't understand the big freak out with Battle Royale. It's just King of the Hill. There's literally no difference between these two games except for there's probably larger maps and larger player base now.
Yep.
It's the same game mode that's existed forever.
Yep.
It just has made a resurgence because no one really cared that much about King of the Hill most of the time. So this Battle Royale, people are making fun of Call of Duty or something like that or Battlefield, and I don't play either one of these games anymore. But I sit there and I say, why would you make fun of them for just doing something that you guys are all doing? It's like, how often do people get mad at the developers for not giving them what they want? The player base has said, we love Battle Royale. We will play games like Fortnite where the only thing you can really do is Battle Royale, and we're going to then make fun of you for doing it.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for them is going to be the servers. Like, Call of Duty was notoriously bad at their servers on release. We'll have to see how they handle Battle Royale mode when you get 100 people.
But the thing, too, is that's difficult for a game like Call of Duty or something like that is, if you're somebody who doesn't if your favorite match is not team deathmatch, then a lot of times you kind of
Like
get...
if you were a demolition guy
or
or a
you love
domination.
Ground War, whatever.
Yeah.
Plant the bomb.
Like, if you
I'm
like
so
one
good
of
at
these
that.
things and you're sitting there and you're looking at how many people are playing, you got 10,000 people, whatever, playing team deathmatch, and you got 5 people playing demolition.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, all right, well, I guess I'm not going to play demolition. I guess I have to play this. That's a problem when you do have these options of, unless everybody is going to jump into playing Battle Royale, you're going to run into this. If I can have 100 people and there's only 1,000 people playing,
That's 10
there's
games.
only 10 games. Yeah. And
Yeah.
if I'm not getting into one of these 10, I'm waiting a long time until there's another one starting up.
Well, that's the thing about Fortnite is the downtime between matches is fairly quick. They keep you on, they keep you going, and with a game like Call of Duty or Battlefield, if we see that drag, you have to understand they're trying to borrow what works for them because that's where the pile of money is. Go where the money's at. I totally respect it, but at the same time, if they don't do the small things that Fortnite is doing that makes it more attractive to players, then I don't know if they're going to see anywhere near the same
I
levels
don't
of
know
success.
if, when we played World War II, the downtime between matches for Call of Duty wasn't necessarily waiting in a kind of load screen. It was more all right, I gotta go open my supply crate. Oh, wait, I have to get more challenges. All right, let's queue up for the next one.
I got all these tasks
Yeah.
to do. Yeah, no, I think
that was where more of the downtime is. I've waited more in a load screen for Overwatch than I have for Call of Duty.
But now that you're expecting to have 100 people on a map at once,
Yeah.
that's the whole point. I agree with Mark. Is if there's only a couple thousand people online, how long are you going to end up waiting if you don't catch a game? So
Yeah.
there's a lot to be said about following the battle royale trend because if that's where the money's at, how many people are going to strike out trying to get there?
Yeah.
I think a ton.
And I don't even think it's always completely about the money. It's just players want this
Nah,
game
it's about
mode.
the money.
I mean,
As a game creator,
it is
it's about the
it
It's
money.
is
also
about
what's
money,
gonna get
but
the game bought,
I mean,
and it's
yeah,
the
it's
newest price.
sure it's about money, but it's also the fact that
I'm
people
cynical.
want this game mode,
Yeah.
so give them the game mode that they want.
Right. Right.
I mean,
Pokemon Go. We're gonna see battle royale next, right?
Right. But I mean,
That's-
we mentioned it before, and you called me Hitler for it. I said
I called EA Hitler.
I said pull
me Hitler
pull
for
my player out of Madden,
Yeah.
and you freak out because people want it.
yeah, I'm a little unhappy with
put
the thought of.
Battlefield on there, or Battle Royale on there because people want it.
Yeah, no, I
Give
agree.
the people what they want.
I agree. I mean, the whole thing comes down to just: are they going to be successful following this trend, or is this something that Fortnite was special, PUBG is special to an extent, and we're going to see another transition with something new or something that we dig back up from the
definitely,
past?
yeah.
That's another thing too of you think Call of Duty doesn't come out till October, November. So I know we're only a few months away, but if I'm Call of Duty, Battlefield, I'm sitting there going, let this trend keep going. Just let it keep going. Don't die yet, because the worst thing that would happen is, and we don't like Battle Royale anymore. God damn it, we just came out with this game.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's got probably about another year lifespan at worst case before it dips down below like number one. Because I think right now it's just the most appealing thing for the widest
and
audience.
Right now there's no other mode of game that I can see. Like, of course, there's going to be a new craze.
Like, we hit the MOBA surge from
what,
2010 to 2017.
But I don't
16.
know what the
now we're in
next
Battle
thing
Royale
to do to knock off the Battle Royale.
That's what I'm saying.
trend.
So I think we got like 3 years of this.
If
easily.
you knew, you'd be making a ton
Exactly.
of
I said
I'd be
you
going
should be
into
making
that.
some decisions then. But yeah, no, I think that's interesting because it was like you can look back at like what games dominated by trend or by type.
Yeah.
And it was really MOBAs and mobile games.
Oh, for sure.
Were huge from 10 to 15, 10 to 16. And now we're going to see about 4 years maybe of this Battle Royale multiplayer heavy. Like, who knows what'll be next, but it doesn't look like it's coming soon.
And it's not even those type of things, too. I mean, we can look at it when every single game suddenly became obsessed with giving you choice.
Oh, my God, yeah.
And sometimes it was just literally like, hey, we've reached the end of the game. Mass Effect did a great job with it.
They did.
But it's like we've reached the end of the game, and some of these ones are like, now you can choose which side wins. It's like, what? I've never made a choice in this entire game, and now I have to make this that completely affects everything. But yeah, I mean, people became obsessed with that. People became obsessed with the love interests and stuff like that.
Oh my God!
Shoehorning a lot of that.
Let's
in
be
there.
honest. I'm going to go back all the way to when we were kids, when the Dreamcast was out, and I had that.
Ooh.
It blew my mind in a Sonic game that, for once, I get to play as the bad guy. I get to play as the evil, like Shadow, the evil hedgehog. Blew my mind. Like, because up to that point, there weren't many games that are like, yeah, you're going to play as this good guy. Oh, by the way, halfway through the story, we're going to switch perspectives and you're going to play as the bad guy as well.
Yeah, no, I think that's honestly, like, I love going back and looking at the older shit like that to see kind of where, like you said, where the trends came from, and are we going to pull back one of those old ones like King of the Hill or something similar and bring it back to today.
Capture the Flag. Let's bring that back.
CTF.
Combine it with Rocket League.
Overwatch already
Rocket
tried
League,
that,
capture
Mark.
the flag.
Yep.
Just have a bunch of cars
I
driving
enjoyed
around.
Overwatch.
I
Capture the
did
Flag.
too.
I
But
always
they
liked
did.
Capture
They
the
brought
Flag.
back Kept the Flag as like one of the new...
The problem with Capture the Flag, essentially, is just that everybody on your team sucked.
When they stalemate too, I hate just camping. Like, we got 4 people standing by our flag.
People are trying to just play team deathmatch, and you're like, no, get the flag. That's how you win. Stop shooting people and just get the flag.
But if I trace if I'm Tracer, I want to go after that Genji over there.
Yeah.
He's running around. I gotta go follow him.
And then that's why they changed and went like, just screw it. We're just going to give you a free for all.
Yep.
We'll give you a solo team deathmatch to where if you want to go kill Mark, just go kill Mark. Just follow him. There's no objective but to get kills.
And Rick, you brought up earlier, going back to our childhood a little bit, and
Hell
now
yeah.
that's what I want to do. I want to go back to our childhood. I want to go back to when we used to have to get together to play games.
Because what do old people do? We just fucking nostalgize.
We reminisce.
Back in my day,
Nostalgize.
when I was done walking uphill both ways from
You're
school,
damn right.
Walking
in 5 feet
no.
of snow.
It's to and from school, uphill
Yeah.
both ways.
There you go.
and 5 foot snow
Yep.
In the rain.
in the summer. It was the
Yep.
worst. I
Yeah.
came home and I played video games with my friends.
Yeah. But you know what? To play video games with your friends, you had to all be together.
Yeah.
That was the whole point of playing with your like. That's how you play video games together. None of this online bullshit. None of this Discord crap.
Now it's just, I'm going to log online, man.
Now you just log online. You got voice chat. You doing everything together.
They also didn't have to deal with the days of, all right, I'm going to go online. No, wait, I have to use the phone. No, you're not using the phone. Oh my I'm going to play online.
Nah, that was terrible. Having dial up, you got to split the coverage.
Especially without cell phones.
Oh
we
my
didn't have
God.
cell phones back then.
No, we didn't. But I think the worst part about it was like the whole like, well, so and so's got to eat right now.
Yep.
Like you guys are playing, and like, well, you can go upstairs and eat. I'm gonna keep playing.
Yeah.
Like that was the worst. Like, or you couldn't go out and play because clearly family. But no, I mean like getting together to have a LAN party was it was probably one of the highlights of my childhood. Like
For the younger
best.
viewers and audio listeners, what's
a
a LAN
LAN
party?
LAN is in local air. I don't even know local area network. I think that's the
Probably.
abbreviation. I
Yeah.
should know. I'm an
You
IT.
should know this, yeah.
But I'm going with local area network. You would hook up your system to another system That's when two nerds like each other very much. And you get to play together across
local
multiple...
area network.
Yes, I nailed it. Look at this. I'm like a professional over here.
Yeah.
And yeah, so you hook up your system to their system, and you get to play games that are enabled. It came out with, I want to say, Xbox, PlayStation 2?
Halo.
Yeah, for me it was Halo. It was just Xbox for me. Like, I can remember going back and playing Halo and Halo
you could have
2.
done it with computers and stuff like that.
Well, yeah,
as well.
no, there was Doom.
Yeah.
We did Doom. That was some good shit back in the day. But Halo was the big one for me. And like, I still remember being over at a friend's house, and the upstairs of his house had 3 bedrooms, and we had like 30-foot Ethernet cables going across linking systems. Everybody's in a separate bedroom, and we've got like 3 people in each bedroom all playing Halo. And like, that was just it. You were there, you were eating shitty food, garbage pizza, and playing video games with your friends.
Not just garbage pizza, like garbage
like
frozen
pizza, man.
pizza.
Well, you could do the frozen
No,
pizza.
whoa, hold on.
but-
Don't knock frozen pizza.
No, I'm talking like the shitty frozen
Like the
pizza.
Osco frozen pizza?
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
Like
Osco brand?
we're going
That's just fine.
We're going cheapy frozen
Yeah,
pizza.
that's okay. That's part of the experience.
Like, that cheese is not actually able to be called cheese. It's called cheese-flavored product.
Or like at Dave's house, I don't
part of
know
the
how many
experience,
times I ate mini bagel
Mini
dogs.
bagel. Oh, you say anything bad about mini bagel dogs?
Oh no, I'm not
Yeah.
saying it's bad.
No,
that's
see,
that's the only
this
time
is
I
like
ate
a-
mini bagel dogs was when we were at your house playing
true.
games.
It's like a step up from your Osco pizza, but Jack's pizza.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah. Jack's was like the lowest
That
quality.
was the rule. Now, this wasn't necessarily playing video games. This was with bands I was in high school. Was
Yeah.
someone would have the practice at their house, but there was like a alternating of somebody had to bring some Jack's pizza with, because that's what you had to eat every Sunday when you're jamming. You got to eat some Jack's pizza.
I mean, for us back then, I think it was a Pizza Man was the dirt cheap delivery pizza around us. But yeah, no, I mean, it was just that's how you played games with your friends, and that was a ton of fun, and just the
Yeah.
memories, and the like. You can sit there and scream back and forth at each other, and like, we got to the point of violence a couple of times, but like, it's all part of the fun.
Well,
That's how
I
you
always
game.
think of too, and this is maybe part of my knock on Call of Duty games, and specifically Nazi Zombies, which is
Yeah.
just called Zombies. But that was a perfect one to do a LAN party with,
Yes.
because just have everybody bring their Xbox 360, their PS3, and the original, the World
Right.
at War ones, because that was the best. And really, for that, it just worked so well because it was that cooperative part to it.
Yeah.
You were right there. You really got to work together. You actually had to talk to each other, which, yeah, sure, you can talk to each other over the headsets too, and stuff like that. But it was nice because, that we're in high school at this time, so it's like, all right, put your fucking phone away, because if we're not together, I know you're texting your girlfriend while we're playing, and you think that you can do it in between rounds, but you always seem to get knocked down and someone's got to revive you.
Yep.
So no, we're putting your phone in another room.
Or you've got the people that are like, you revive them, and it's like they die right away. Oh no, I got knocked out again to finish the test.
Like, come on, we know you're playing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, you mentioned Halo. Now, I didn't have an original Xbox, so
Okay.
I didn't do that.
Poor
shit.
you.
Or you.
I was a Sony guy. I did have an Xbox 360, and so I got to play Halo 3 and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, pretty much that was a really good one for it. I mean, you had some of those just kind of more couch co-op type of games,
Yeah.
and your split screens and stuff like that.
Fantasy
that worked
Star for
it.
us.
Oh my
Things
God.
that don't necessarily exist anymore for good reason. I say good reason because of the fact that, I mean, everybody's got a really good internet connection.
Yeah.
True.
And there's not really a reason to do it and to have it. You don't
But
need
is it the same, Mark? Is it the
It's
or I
not
should
the,
say-
it's not the
yeah.
same, and it's not supposed to be the same. It's different. It's not necessarily better or worse. I think.
would
It's
say
That's
just
why I want to know. Better
I
or
would
worse?
say it can be, because I think I've already said this on a podcast that you and I did when Mark was I'm gonna still say getting rained
Seattle.
on in Seattle,
Yeah.
even though you said you didn't get rained
No,
on.
not
Nope,
once.
it's a lie. Seattle's always rainy.
I'm still gonna say you got rained on.
They have so
even
many
though you
things
didn't.
that, like, we bought like 5 different things that have umbrellas or rain, like
it
from
didn't
Seattle, and it didn't rain on us at all.
But it's the one moment I had when I was playing Overwatch late at night where there was a group of us, hey, want to team up? Yeah, sure. We all had microphones. And it was, seriously, now we were winning, so that's a big part of it too. Like, if we were losing, fuck this group, and you leave.
Yeah.
But, like, we were just shooting the shit, having a good time, talking about basically anything.
Yeah.
And it almost reminded me, like, damn, this kind of reminds me of, like, having the boys at the house all playing on one system, on one screen. Like, when N64 days, we would get in one room to play Perfect Dark and GoldenEye and have that split
Super
screen
Smash Bros.
On the little screen. Yeah.
Yeah. Little screen, nothing. I had a decent-sized TV.
I mean, it was littler than what we have now.
Oh, my God, yeah.
They
Kids
were
now are
actually
spoiled.
like tubed TVs back then.
Oh, that was
Good old
great.
CRT.
I went to college with a little tiny like 12-inch TV.
Nice.
Little tube, and I'm like, that was my TV, so I fucking brought it. And I was one of the few people that had a TV and an Xbox 360 in the room. So like people would just come and people gather around this tiny ass thing, and I sit there now and I'm talking to my wife and I'm like, you think we should get a 55 or a 65 inch TV?
The answer's 65.
Bigger is always better.
I wanted the 65 pretty badly, but it would look weird. We measured it on the wall. Like, it's a little too big. I think.
No such thing for TVs. I'm sorry.
But yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily think it's better or worse. I think it's just different. I mean, obviously all of us love it nostalgia-wise.
Absolutely.
Where other people are like, yeah, but my friend lives in California. I can't play with them because I live in New York.
It's where we're at now, too. Like, how many, like, maybe it's the...
Was it the neighborhood?
Well, it's that, too.
For me, like, now you got friends, like you said, California, New York, you can have friends all across the country.
It's the age. Where, like, back then, we didn't have to worry about so-and-so living over here because we all lived in the same neighborhood. Now, with the whole thing of we're seeing more and more, especially, like, I think it started with our generation ain't afraid to say, yeah, you know what? There's a job in California. I live in like Georgia. Yeah, I'm going to go apply for this job in California and just move because it's a better opportunity.
You go where the jobs are, and California's better than Georgia. No offense, Georgia. Deal with it.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, I mean, they do have The Walking Dead, and they do...
Super. California has perfect weather.
No, California was amazing weather,
It has every kind of weather you could want because
you can go for anything. You can go for anything. So, no. I'm sorry,
but I think the neighborhood thing, I think, is an interesting point that you brought up. Because, you guys grew up right around each other. I grew up on my street where, it was my house, one house down was a friend, two houses down, and my... best friend and I shared our backyards. So like we were all right there. And there was a couple other people who we'd sometimes hang out with, depending on if we're going to play football in the park or whatever. But that's all right there. What's interesting is because I had moved and it was 8th grade that I moved. So we moved to a new house, same town, but it was further. And for whatever reason, like I didn't have that realization of like I can go to my friend's house. I can walk there and it would take like a half hour. Sure,
it was just way too far at that point.
I could ride my bike. But when you were like, well, my best friend's house, like we shared a backyard, I could look through my window and see if they are home.
Yep.
So that becomes too far of a distance, and just thinking about it that way.
Literally for Dave, it was hey, let me look out the front window. Well, don't see the van. Ricky's not home.
Yep.
Exactly. So we all have this nice memory, but if you're somebody who doesn't live around your friends,
it's true.
There was no one for you to play with anyway. So now it's like this is the golden age because I can play with anybody I want. To where before it was that didn't exist.
Yeah, but like I don't. For me, it just seems. Yes, the opportunity is there for people who weren't like lucky enough to grow up with kids their age on their block. I totally get that, or even in their neighborhood. But I feel like there was something different about like you, me, Nick, and Sean. Not that Sean. All sitting together in a room.
Playing Fantasy Star.
He was in diapers back then. So.
Yeah, I know, right?
Probably.
Playing Fantasy Star, listening to some Sweet Creed, rocking out.
Yeah.
That was
Doritos, drinking Mountain Dew. Oh, yeah.
No. This is the weathered album.
Yeah,
so this had like,
really
bullets on it. Because I remember Bullets was on.
That CD I'm
bringing up. So it had Bullets into Freedom Fighter, into Who's Got My Back, into Signs, into One Last Breath. My Sacrifice is on that one.
I got that.
Stand Here With Me, Weathered, my favorite song. That and Bullets were my favorite song. Bullet was our boss fighting song.
Bullet was our boss fighting song.
Then it had Hide, Don't Stop Dancing, and then Lullaby. And guess what happened after Lullaby? We just had repeat on, so right back to the beginning.
This reminds me of one of the reasons I actually bought an Xbox 360, because I had my PlayStation 2, and I was like, I'm not going to buy any more systems, whatever, I'll be done. But we would play Gears of War This is the original Gears of War on Xbox 360. But the thing we fucking love to do, because we're terrible people, is take the mic, put it next to the big-ass speaker, and then just play. Because we were all, this is like all of us being into hardcore music phase. So we're just playing Daughters. We're playing, like, the worst things you could, like... just anything that has decapitated or something like that in the title.
Real mature.
And just blasting it to make everybody angry because we're like 15, 16 years old, so why not? But I think the thing that I think about is I have some of my favorite, I don't know if they're like, I guess I'll call them teenage memories that are with my friends are from LAN parties. Yeah. Playing Nazi Zombies is what we really, really love to do. I mean, we played other stuff too, but Nazi Zombies was the one we always went back to. Dragging the TVs, where I had this little tiny ass TV, and Dave Watt, I shouldn't have said his last name, but I just did.
You did. You exposed him.
From the Fantasy Football League. He would bring this big ass TV that you'd have to lug around, and I had this tiny, all these type of random nostalgic memories that's great, that make me happy. But at the same time, I have equally great memories I loved from just playing online with pretty much the same group, playing Red Dead Redemption, playing more Call of Duty, Left 4 Dead, just playing those where we were all at our own houses, super late at night, eating cereal or heating up a pizza and being like, I hope nobody notices that I'm using the oven right now, things like that. And, those are just as good of memories, I think, too. Which really leads me to my answer to your question of, they're just different.
They're just different, equal but different.
Yeah.
I don't know. I want to lean back towards hardcore nostalgia. And I'm like, there was some great fucking times, Dave. There was some great times between playing over at my friend's house from high school, where we'd have like this crazy stuff like I was talking about with like the whole upstairs wired. Yeah. We had like 16 people over there at times, like not 16, but probably like 10, like at a time, hanging out, shooting the shit. It's like 1 a.m. His parents just don't care. And it was just a ton of fun. And he did poison us with pizza one time. Yeah. Because it was one of those frozen pizzas. And like he got the idea to put on like a fresh thing of cheese, except the cheese was moldy. And nobody noticed until like we started eating it, and we're all like, oh God. And like it was food poisoning for the masses. Like that's how you have a good time. While you're trying to play video games.
And you're like, all right, how close can I get this TV to the bathroom?
We had those. And because of that, was someone who had to rush to the bathroom, and his dad was in there using the bathroom, which turned into a whole song about how he saw his dad naked. And like it just turned into like this whole thing in the group, and it just, those are the moments. I'm like, you'll never get those moments back.
Well, it's like, hell, we would even do that with World of Warcraft. You and then a friend that I had in high school, where I remember I would bring my laptop in college over to your house, sit in the crappy corner, like using your dresser in your bedroom and just a random computer chair just to be playing WoW in the same room.
It's different.
And, like my friend in high school would do the same thing. He would bring over his huge decked out, like at the time it was like a terabyte desktop that he had. Bring that, the computer screen, everything, and it would just be... We're both playing in one room, drinking the Mountain Dew Code Red.
Code Red's the best.
It is the best.
Here's the question, though. And is this really memories of how great LAN parties with your friends are?
No, it's just the connection with the friends.
No. Or is it just memories of when you were younger in high school and college?
I think it's a little
because I feel like some
column
of it is just like the nostalgia of having no responsibilities.
And
like you say, like the running into the bathroom and you saw your dad naked. Like that's hilarious.
It
when you're in high
was so
school.
funny though.
Like that's the funniest thing ever. If this happened to you when you're like almost 30 years old, you're like, this is weird. This
but like,
funny.
I mean, the thing now that's completely different is the Switch in general. It's, oh man, I'm playing online. Ah, crap, I gotta go to the bathroom. Taking it out of dock mode. I'm going to walk it all the way up there, and now you can play. You have to move the TV to the shitter. I'm just going to take the
my
freaking
TV
Switch in there.
In my house, wall mounted, and you can turn it enough so where you can actually just PS4 from the shitter. I'm just saying.
I just kind of feel like
I'm just going to bring that Switch into
some of these memories, I think, are just those fun high school.
They definitely are.
Teenage
high school shenanigans and whatnot. But I agree. The ability to play cross country, even intercontinental. Like I've played with people. In my guild, and I know because I was huge in WoW. I raided with the same group for quite a long time, and like I knew these people who lived one in Germany, one in Japan, and one in Australia for a while. And it was like, the fact that we could have that connection over a game is just crazy to think about. It was just something that there's no other way I would meet these people and have these conversations. So will the LAN parties of old ever come back? Probably not, because that's hella nostalgia color tinted goggles.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like what we have now is also pretty interesting, or it's pretty cool, because I never thought that I would have that kind of ability to have these conversations with people across countries, across the world, and just all connect over gaming.
We have right now...
And of course it's Mark that's just got to shit on your joy, Dave.
Yeah,
shit
he
on
did a little bit, but he's not taking away.
Was it really that great, or is it just you thinking it was that great?
It was pretty great.
I mean, because let's be real here. But no, I right now we have in Chicago multiple, and it's not just Chicago, plenty of places have the beercades, where you go to a bar and there's arcade games. And we're not talking like they have video poker over in the corner. No, they actually have all your board.
That's the thing with us. We're not that old. We're like my dad. No. I'm saying like we're not from that generation. No. I'm saying like we're not from that generation.
You're ruining our
where
mystique.
my dad's generation was the whole like he would go to the arcade.
Yeah.
All right, the Galaga. My name is still there. All right, someone took it down. All right, I gotta reclaim my spot. And like you would go to the arcade to look to see if your name was still there, because that was basically the collection ground of. But I need to kind of plant my superiority.
Statue yourself.
Seed. But where I'm going with that is we have these things, and that's that nostalgia right now. Yeah. And they're geared towards very specific groups, but everybody enjoys it. The flip side is, do we get to a point maybe, and I'm positive that one of these exists somewhere, but do we get to a place where it's just like, hey, we got a bunch of consoles, we got a bunch of PCs, just a bunch of rooms, we got drinks, we got food, you come here with some friends, or just random ass people, who knows, and you have little LAN parties in our place. Like, do we get to a point where that exists?
There
because
are
the nostalgia can make it happen.
There are none near us. I looked, but I do know of a couple that do exist, and it's actually much bigger, not a huge surprise, South Korea and Japan. Because they also have like the gaming cafes, which are very big over there. But no, I think it is, because it's a weird thing. For me, I'm all about the community. Like, gaming community is what makes people invested. You'll never be as invested as game as you are when you're invested with a group of people over the same thing. It's just a different level of connection. And with the gaming communities, I think that's all it is like you want to get together and experience the same things as your friends at the same time, and experience it together because you can feed off them. Yeah. Like, going back to like the Game of Thrones shit, watching your friends watch the Red Wedding is like, do you remember how viral those videos went? Like, it's that kind of an experience. You get to live that with your friends. So I think for gaming, that kind of a place opening up, there are a lot of things they have to worry about from a legal standpoint. I read up on this a lot, actually, because I thought about it. And I think it's awesome. And I think it is something that we're going to see kind of explode in the next couple of years, because people do want that kind of an experience. People do want to have that kind of place they can go together, gather up, their buddies for a couple hours, once a week, and just sit back, have a couple drinks, play video games, and just do their thing like the old days. Like, I think it's going to become more of a nostalgia piece rather than it's going to be the future of, or we're going to see a resurgence of gaming as a LAN party style.
Because like those beercades, I mean, there's like 3 of them in Chicago.
Yes.
There's not many, and it is that kind of that small little niche group that's into it. Yep. And they feed off of nostalgia and stuff like that. Absolutely. And the social aspect of it. To where I think, if you only had 1 or 2 in a city, I think that, that makes sense.
Problem is we're not close to those, so we don't get that. I wish we were. I wish there was one close to us, actually. I'll just go with that.
Down the street.
Yep.
That's all you need.
And I guess that seems like it wraps it up. Ricky, got nothing to add?
I'm all spent.
All right.
I'm spent with this one.
Ricky's mad that I just ruined both of your childhoods.
I was going to say, I feel like he kicked us a little bit, in the childhood.
He kicked me in the balls. It's okay.
The childhood.
I'm still here.
Some people are into that, so.
I am not Mark. I'll tell you that.
Just to confirm, Ricky is not into that.
I am not into that. Hashtag sorry, not sorry, Mark.
I mean, some people deny what they're into. I'm just saying.
Wonderful. Well, if you lasted this long to listen to us, I want to thank you. Let us know if there's anything that you guys want to talk about with us or have us talk about. I forgot to do the read off at the beginning, so I'll give you a little bit of the rundown. If you want to support us even more than you already do so, You can check us out at iTunes. Give us 5 stars there. They love to do that. We love to read the reviews on there. They're fantastic usually.
I just love reading comments in general.
I love reading comments on YouTube.
I just do it all day.
I know. It's addicting. We do it. We read everything. We'll just say it. If you want to check out our website, we have all of our content posted there. We have a store branched off of our website with our t-shirts, which slackers, nobody wore today.
Yeah,
I'll wear it tomorrow to the fast break, I think.
I wore Pokemon today.
Yeah, I'll wear it tomorrow to the fast break, maybe.
Pokemon.
I went to work, so
I also went to work. I'm dressed like a professional, can't you tell?
yeah.
You can, if you want to give us even more love or jump on one of our podcasts, check out patreon.com. Most Valuable Podcasts.
People like being the first. They could be the first for Too Old to Game.
I know. I would love
We
to
have
actually
yet
hear.
to have one.
I would love to know, like, who would be the first to jump on here? Would it be someone younger? Would it be someone older? Maybe we get into a different audience.
Maybe.
I'd love to know what kind of conversations you guys bring to the table. But for Dave Oster, Mark Weber, Ricky Widmer, thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch you next time.